Green Fruit, Chapter 3. He woke up to alarms. Waking up did not feel right. He did not know where he was. Everything hurt. He remembered how to shoot things. That was at least good. Through the gritted teeth, emergency, smoke, and catching sight of himself in glass, scarred and strained, he gathered that things were not going well. This was definitely his life. He hated Cerberus. Really, really hated Cerberus. Hated their insidious agenda and malicious experiments. He hated Reapers more, though, and everything was on fire. Fire bad. Karin Chakwas' name only occurred to him a few hundred times, but he kept it behind his teeth because Cerberus were the last people he wanted to tell. In essence, hey, if you round up this woman, I'll do anything you ask. They could hold a metaphoric razor to her throat, and he'd do anything they said. Cerberus used real razors, sometimes infected with something vile. Shallow cuts. He had a violent stab of cold when Tally treated him like a remote stranger. Her skepticism and distance in keeping with Quarian attitudes toward humans, but not toward him. Collectors gave him another violent stab, and the day had a theme. It was clear trust was not on the table for a lot of people. Tally should know better, and he began to have a sinking suspicion that maybe she did. He was barely civil to the elusive man and was going to do his best to play along until he had a better angle, but Joker was a surprise. Moya was grateful to see him. The Normandy was beautiful. As they stood there watching the ship light up section by section, Joker said, "Hey, I thought you should know. Seems like you arrived on an accelerated schedule. Dr. Chakwas wanted to be there for you when you woke up. She insisted. She'll be here tomorrow, ready to take up her station in the mid-bay." She's okay. She's okay. Cerberus contacted us both. We talked. She's been working on alliance projects, was part of the Lazarus project, but only remotely, really. Miranda's apparently really secretive. The doc's not really working for Cerberus, and wouldn't sign the releases and confidentiality requests, wouldn't agree to Cerberus's terms. Not about your care. She did say she'd work for you, not them. She promised to take a leave of absence from the Alliance if and when you woke up. The Alliance wouldn't let me fly. Cerberus will. I'm sorry. That is a consequence of the loss of the ship. The Alliance grounded you. That's on me. No, it really isn't. It's the Council and their bullshit. Don't blame yourself. They'd like that. Yeah, I'm bitter. I've earned it. You'll see. Please tell me that Cerberus has changed. I can't. I can tell you they are the only player in town offering reincarnation for you, in Normandy I can fly, and a mission on point. We found it hard to say no to that. Looks like you too. I'm glad. I don't think I was insured when I died. I will be paying off bills for a while, it seems. Nothing makes me happier to think that Karen's on her way, unless it's thinking she should be far away from me for her own safety. Some of us don't chase safety, Commander. You should know that. Moya smiled. Yeah, you don't. Someone should thank you for that. Well, I did get you killed. No, you didn't. I totally did. I was there. I was there too. I recall me giving orders that you eventually decided were up to your standards, and I got a little grabby and broke some things. Yeah. My arm still hurts. Want me to even it out? Go for the other arm? Nah, that's okay. I'll just stick with crushing guilt. Right there with you. Welcome home, Commander. Try not to die. We get upset. I can see that. I'll do my best. Can you loan me a few billion credits to help me get out of debt? I have to pay off the old ship, buy the new one, and then there's this body, which, although he's a fixer-upper, seems to at least look like me. Sorta. They're not paying me that well. We could hawk the ship, but I'd be out of a job. Counterproductive. Thank you, Joker. Next time you tell me to do anything, I'm on it. I promise. Next time, I'll go easier on your arm. Moya was on the ship fast, finding his way around. She was beautiful. Evil was well bankrolled and not cheap. He asked Edie to inform him the moment Karin Chakwas set foot on the Normandy. Not 2 moments later, Edie. The moment. Not 3 moments later, Edie. The exact moment. You can even tell me before she gets here? Do you have external cameras? I will inform you when she requests permission to come aboard. She has that permission. The moment. Before the moment. Are you certain, Commander? Are you screwing with me? Yes. Thank you, Edie. You appear to have a strong sense of humor, Commander. I thought it would be welcoming. It is. Evil was more scary when it was rich and had a sense of humor, but he wouldn't miss Karin's arrival. Commander, Dr. Karin Chakwas is requesting permission to come aboard. Is she? She's approaching the airlock. Edie, I changed my mind. Lock her out. Are you screwing with me? No, lock her out. Permission is not denied, just deferred. I will personally grant permission. Yes, Commander. He sprinted to the airlock, got into the decontamination chamber, and then said, Edie, are there cameras in here? Yes, Commander. Not now there aren't. Not ones that work. Yes, Commander. Which button do I use to override airlock automatic opening? She highlighted a set of controls. Wonderful. I like you a lot, Edie. Thank you, Commander. No cameras. Yes, Commander. I mean it. Just like you meant the moment and she had permission? I mean this extra more. Noted. He expected with his luck to have her accompanied by someone else, but it was just her. Thank God, looking slightly puzzled when the airlock door finally opened for her. He saluted. Welcome aboard. His unflappable and calm Karin did not salute, but did incline her head. Thank you, Commander. She seemed to expect him to come to her, but he relaxed to parade rest and waited, taking her in. She was so very beautiful, her voice still like a river, and even if she called him the wrong thing, he'd fix that. He just needed her on his ship to do it. She did not hesitate for long, stepped into the decontamination chamber, facing in as he faced out. Once the hatch had completely closed, He paused the decontamination sequence. Her delicately arched eyebrow went up. His smile hitched, not as delicately. Karin, 2 years, and you've forgotten what my name is? I have not forgotten. I think you have. As much as he often tried to downplay his size and put people at ease, right now he enjoyed that she had to look up at him. He turned, not quickly, but determined, both of her eyebrows rising, and that provoking a full smile from him. He stepped toward her, and she stepped back, startled, but she had nowhere to go. She wasn't in her med bay. She wasn't the Empress. Yet. She kept backing up until her shoulders were against the wall, and his hands came to hold her face between them. He stroked his thumbs along her cheekbones, wide green eyes staring at him. He thought for a brief moment that he would explain, but he wanted to show her. Explaining hadn't worked before, and he'd be damned if dying did not teach him some things about timing and taking decisive action. He bent his head, pulled her to him with his hands, and kissed her, a shocked and satisfying sound coming from her of surprise. Not outrage, not rejection. Surprise. Definitely not no. Thank God. Thank the river. Thank Karin. He brushed his lips against hers and his nose against the side of hers, soaking in the texture of her lips, long imagined, and the familiar about her, crisp laundry and subtle perfume, combined comfort and care. The next sound she made was a soft moan, her stiff neck muscles relaxing under his fingertips as she tilted her head to kiss him back, dragging a moan from deep in his chest. Her hands came tentatively to his shoulders, and one of his arms moved to curl around her waist, pulling her against him. Not off the floor, not yet, but someday, Karin. Off the floor. I am going to sweep you off your feet, and you won't stop me. I just know better than to do it in your realm. Right now, just a blessedly satisfying kiss and a prelude to new rules. She could kiss, and he lost himself to the taste and feel of her waist under his hand, soft suppressed whimpers. She was trembling. Hell, so was he. Her tongue on his was cool mint, warming to friction and insistence on his part, and not a little on hers. Before he lost himself completely and started tearing clothes off of the woman, he tipped her head back, kissed down her throat to the hollow at the base, and then up to her ear. This is a pirate ship, Dr. Chakwas. I've welcomed you aboard, but if pirates don't suit you, you should turn and go. Right now. I'm not going to listen to a damned word about not fraternizing. Your medbay is still your realm, but I've been dead for a little while, and I have some time and opportunity to make up for missing. Getting you in my bed and keeping you there makes up about 90% of those plans. The rest involve killing people. If that doesn't sound like something you want, I'll open the door for you and wish you well along your way. She was a little shaky, and it took her a few moments. And now you've forgotten my name? Staying or going, Karin? It has been 2 years. What if I am involved with someone else? You are not a stupid woman. If you cared about anybody else, you'd be far away from me. You wouldn't do that to them. You wouldn't do that to yourself. You certainly wouldn't do that to me. I died, you know. He pulled back and tipped her chin up, looked at her with puppy dog eyes, and asked, "Are you that cruel?" "Perhaps cruelty is necessary to being a pirate." You are so good at not saying no at the right times. It's a skill. There's a technicality. You're only going to be patching up pirates from your refuge. Then, may I come aboard? Come on, Karin. Say it. Her head tilted to the side, and she looked at him with tear-filled eyes. May I come aboard, Cherie? I insist. He did pull her up off her balance this time, up on her toes, if not all the way, her neck bent back against an equally insistent kiss, making absolutely clear that he meant what he said and would mean it every day. Her nails dug into his shoulders and his teeth were on her lower lip, and she was beautiful, perfect, and he was so glad to be alive. As always, she had an exaggerated and predictable effect on him, and if they were ever getting out of here, he had to stop. He pulled back, panting, hands gripped around her neck and waist. I'm glad to see that some things do not change. Me too. Can I ask you a question? What? What did you wear to my funeral? He smiled, eyes still closed. That is a very painful memory. I know, I'm trying to lighten it up. Little black dress, pearls. I was mourning, and I can see it. I mourned. I'm so sorry, Karin. I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you. Okay, so to recap, you missed me. I missed missing you. You're not involved with anybody. If you have any plans of being involved with anybody else, get off right now. If you have some misguided idea that you are getting on this ship only to be my medical officer, I appreciate the devoted service, but I need you to go. And do not tell me who you are interested in. I might just kill them accidentally on purpose. I love you. I tried to say it in different ways before, but I didn't want to scare you. I'm a scary guy, Karin. I love you. This is it. This is me. I'm not wasting time or opportunity. You don't have to say you love me. Just tell me you'll give me a chance. I have spent 2 years mourning the opportunity to find out. You really don't know? After that kiss and everything? That's cold, Karin. He kissed a warm trail along her throat. You wish for me to declare love in an airlock? I just did. What, it's not good enough for you? Pirate, Karin. Some of us have lowered standards. Wait, that came out wrong. It was such a lovely sound, his own answering laugh on the skin of her throat, teeth and lips and promise. He stood up and looked down at her, seeing love on her face as well as grief and shock and surprise. He took her face in his hands again, fingers along her cheekbones. I admit that was a bit of an unfair surprise. You're here. That's all I need. Kiss me like that, lady, and I really don't care how you feel about it. You can hate it. I'll still have fun. I don't I know, Karin. I know. You're here. That's all I need. I mean that. I also need you to know I'm here for you. I'm still getting used to me being dead and then being alive. You can too. I had to kiss you before I sent you down into your medbay where my adamant Empress rules with her sterile fist. Her eyebrows drew together. Gauze fist? She shook her head. I'll work on it. Okay, where you rule. I'm exactly where I was 2 years ago. Inappropriate and scary. You figure out where you are and where you want to be. I'm not saying I won't grab you and kiss you, because I will. That's your fault, by the way. You shouldn't make it so rewarding. But you have 2 years of reactions to get through. And this amazing kiss to sort out. Just stay and find your way to me. Please. Her arms came around his back and she was crying, her head tucked in under his jaw, his hands in her hair. They both took some time to gain physiological composure, the red around her eyes and obvious cresting tears kissed away by him, which made him take a little longer to physiologically recover, but they figured he'd just walk straight to the elevator, let her find her way in peace, and go to his cabin where he could... Hell, imagine a little black dress with pearls, or take a cold shower, or talk to an empty fish tank. Pirates had options. Not the really good ones. He'd love to swashbuckle her up out there with him, but although he was decisive, he was not cruel. Or not that cruel. Really close to it, though. Asking her what she wore to his funeral was light compared to telling her that his last thoughts were of her. Or telling her he was terrified of what Cerberus could do to her or with her. Or telling her to get off the ship for her own good. She had every right to be afraid. And so did he. She was already here, which means Cerberus already knew what she meant to him, considering their thorough research. He couldn't keep her any safer by ordering her off the ship, and this truly was it. It was this guy, scary and inappropriate, hoping that while they both were under the malevolent eye of a ruthless, murderous, and very effective organization, he'd have a few moments free of tragedy to appear to be as carefree as he appeared, and to hope that she accepted his humor and determination as confidence. Mortality changes a man, and he considered that as her fingertips traced the odd, glowing scars on his face, and he smiled at her as though it did not hurt.